Hello, Squishies! I am Andrew, and welcome to another Squishy Shorts. This time, we are looking at Return to Monkey Island. It was never going to happen. They'd never let him do it. It's been too long, who would care? After a 31-year wait, creator Ron Gilbert and team returned to Monkey Island to give us a new adventure and to finally resolve that cliffhanger and reveal the secret of Monkey Island. Could they do the impossible and bring Monkey Island back again? Return to Monkey Island is a point-and-click adventure game developed by Terrible Toybox and published by Devolver Digital in 2022 for PC, Mac, Linux, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. What is Return to Monkey Island all about? Here's the official description. It's been many years since Guybrush Threepwood was last locked in a battle of wits with his nemesis, the zombie pirate LeChuck. His true love Elaine Marley has turned her focus away from governing, and Guybrush himself is adrift and unfulfilled, having never found the secret of Monkey Island. Hip young pirate leaders led by Captain Madison have shuffled the old guard from power, Melee Island has taken a turn for the worse, and famed businessman Stan has been imprisoned for marketing-related crimes. On April 1st, 2022, my friend Alex texted me to say that a new Monkey Island game had been announced by creator Ron Gilbert. Gilbert had been saying for years that if Lucasfilm and later Disney sold him back the rights to the series, he would make a new game and finally resolve the cliffhanger left from Monkey Island 2. He never thought Disney would go along with it. And after the text from Alex, it felt like the cruelest of April Fool's jokes. Yet, as the day came to an end, I went to bed knowing that there really was going to be a new Monkey Island game. The game came out on the 19th of September 2022. In the UK, a rich old lady had died, and we all got the day off work, so I got to stay home to play. True to his word, Return to Monkey Island picks up where Monkey Island 2 concluded in the theme park, which isn't the Carnival of the Damned referred to in the Curse of Monkey Island, but in fact Guybrush's son and a friend reenacting stories from Guybrush's past, which may not have been the original intent 31 years ago, but does sidestep any inconsistency that might have grown out of contradicting the Curse of Monkey Island. I think the fact that the development team chose to acknowledge the events of the previous three games is commendable. This opening section with the children is a tutorial stage setting out how the point-and-click interface works. I said over the previous games how the system was always being refined. I think this is the interface at its purest form. The cursor on screen will pop up with one or two lines of text to indicate the primary and secondary interaction. The text will show exactly what interaction will occur. If the first interaction would change the nature of the second interaction, the text will change to reflect this. It is honestly one of the cleanest and clearest point-and-click interfaces I've ever used. Similar to the special editions of Monkeys 1 and 2, this game comes with a hint system. Once you have access to the hint book, it will give you levels of clues as to what you need to do, which are contextual for what you've already done, with the end telling you exactly what to do. If you've forgotten what it is you're meant to do, the first hint may be enough to nudge you back on the path, but if you've exhausted your wits and you can't figure out a puzzle solution, the game will tell you. From here, Guybrush tells his son the story of when he finally found the real secret of Monkey Island. This structure allows for some great gags where you cut away from Guybrush and his son for commentary on the game. It is possible to die in the game, though it'll take you a long time, which will cause some jabs from the son about how that's not possible. If you want to see this, I recommend giving a couple of goes for some extra scenes. Anyway, the game is roughly divided into two sections. The first feels very similar in structure to the original game, mainly taking place on Melee Island and Monkey Island. Then the latter part is like Monkey Island 2, where you have to hop from island to island to solve puzzles. In this game you can travel to the islands of Melee, Scurvy, Terra, and the area of Bermuda. Once again, there is a new style to the game, which returns to its 2D roots for the first time since the Curse of Monkey Island. The art director is Rex Crowell, whose work I already loved from Tearaway and the wonderful Knights and Bikes. Seen in motion, the game is absolutely sublime and smooth and charming. It harkens back to Curse a little in that it can jump from gameplay to cutscene effortlessly. After Monkeys 2 and 3, this is my favourite that the series has ever looked. I don't want to oversell it, but I just loved how this game was to play. Once more, the principal cast from the series returned to play their respective roles, except the retired Earl Boen had given his blessing for the role to be recast. Going back to what I had said about Ron Gilbert acknowledging the games that had been made after he left the series, I think it's great that he also took on board the casting that he had nothing to do with, and composers Michael Land, Peter McConnell and Clint Bajakian return once more. All this, along with the best writing since Curse, led to a game that felt the most authentically Monkey Island there had been for a long time. There is a part of me who remembers finishing Monkey Island 2 for the first time as a child that can't quite believe that 31 years later I got another game directed by creator Ron Gilbert. Not only that, but it was a wonderful game, legitimately funny and creative point-and-click adventure. I loved revisiting Melee Island and Monkey Island and discovering the new locations. I loved reacquainting myself with the old characters and meeting new ones. And if I was to have one complaint about the game, it would be the ending. I don't want to go into it here, and I've read lots of praise for it, but for me, I wanted something more definitive. And I get it. How would a definitive answer please everyone? A part of me wanted more after 31 years. So intellectually, I get it, but I didn't feel it. There is a letter that you can read after the game, written by Ron, that I found emotionally very satisfying. I found myself thinking about it a lot afterwards in terms of both the game and, weirdly, my life. If you take the letter to be the end of the game, it is more satisfying, but it is also a direct address from the author to the audience, and only accessible after the game from the menu. So it's a weird one. My final thought on the whole is that I love this series, and have for over 30 years, and I am grateful that this game exists. I don't know if there will be any more Monkey Island games. I hope we don't have to wait 13 years for another. Have you played Return to Monkey Island? Which is your favourite Monkey Island game? Let us know in the comments, because we'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, this has been a pleasure, and we'll see you again on the next one. Bye!
If I can't buy a ship, I'll steal one. I'm a pirate. I'll find a way to get to Monkey Island no matter what it takes. I like the old pirate leaders better.